Hello dear children. In this video we will have a look at the solution of exercise number 3.5. Okay, so basically for the question number 1, uh, you need to learn some properties, okay, which is given in the page number 42. Okay, just turn page number 42 and you can see out there are 4 properties given. Okay, so you need to learn those properties. Okay, so that is basically your 3 properties, by the way. Okay, so if the denominator uh, is 2 or 5, okay, if the denominator is 2 or 5, then that uh, fraction will be a terminating decimal number. Okay, if that fraction it has a denominator, we know that what is denominator, isn't it? So if the denominators uh, factor is either 2 or 5, then that is a terminating decimal number. Okay, you have to check the factors of the denominators. Okay, remember that. But if the denominator it has a factor like 3, 7, okay, 11, then it's going to be a recurring decimal number. Okay, so you have to look at the denominators, I mean the factors of the denominators. Okay, so here in question number 1a, we can see that the denominator is 25 and it has a factor of 5. Okay, 5 and 5. 5 multiplied by 5, it's 25. You know that 5 into 5 is 25. So I'm not repeating the same number. So I'm just writing 5. So 5, either 5 or 2, it will be terminating, isn't it? So number 1a will be a terminating decimal number. Okay, now in uh, question number b, the denominator is 7 and the factor is also 7. Okay, I mean the prime number, so it's going to be a recurring decimal number. Okay, now in question number c, it will be a mixed recurring number because the denominators are 3 and 5. Sorry, the factors of the denominator are 3 and 5. Okay, now remember this denominator, I mean the factors 2 and 5, they are the main key. Okay, they are the main key, 2 and 5, whether be it only 2 or 5 only. Okay, it's going to be a terminating number. Okay, but if both the numbers are there, okay, 2 and 5, also again it is a terminating decimal number. But along with this 2 and 5, if we have other factors also like 3, 7, 11, 13, okay, 17, along with 2 and 5, okay, either 2 or 5, okay, if we are having, then it will be a mixed recurring number. Like here we have 5, okay, isn't it? But along with 5 we have 3 also, so it's going to be a mixed recurring decimal number. Okay, and only 3 is here. Okay, there is no 2, there is no 5, then it's going to be a recurring decimal number. Okay, and here the denominators of this sorry, the factors of this denominator 80 in question number E, it is 2 and 5, so it will be a terminating decimal number. And for this mixed recurring, sorry, question number F, 12, the factors are 2 and 3, so the fraction, it will be a mixed recurring decimal number because along with 2 we have 3. Okay, just like here in question number C, we have 5 and 3. Similarly, it's here 2 and 3. Okay, remember that 2 and 5 are the main key for this property. Okay, please learn that property. If you don't understand that property, or if you have not learned that property, then you will not be able to understand this particular question. Okay, first you need to learn that. Okay, then only you try to understand this. Okay, now let us move on to this question number 2. Now in question number 2, you have to round off. Okay, by round off we mean that we will convert the number into the nearest ones, or maybe tens or hundreds or thousands, okay, to the nearest one. And the point, okay, what will be the point here? The equilibrium point, or you can say the midpoint is 5. Okay, if the number is more than 5 or equals to 5, then it will be converted into the nearest tens, hundreds or thousands. Okay, but if the number is below 5, it is like 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, then that number will remain same as it is. Okay, and this process is known as round off. For example, if you visit a shop, okay, and you purchase some commodity of rupees, let us say, 17.5, okay, 17.5. So if you round it off to the nearest tens, sorry, to the nearest unit number, then it will be 18 rupees. Okay, nearest 18, sorry, the nearest decimal point, it will be 18. Okay, because it was 17.5. So you have to look at the number what is lying after the decimal point. Okay, so here you have to see question number 2. Round off the following numbers. Question number A, 7.967. So you have to round it off to the 2 decimal places. So by 2 decimal places, you have to look at the last 2 digits. Okay, let me just show you out here. 6, 7. Okay, so you have to look at the last 2 digits. Okay, last 2 decimal points. Now you can see out here, both these numbers are more than 5, isn't it? Are you understanding? Okay, so these are more than 5, isn't it? But now you have to convert this particular number. Okay, you have to convert this particular number to the nearest number. Okay, to the higher number. Okay, so then it will be 7.97. Okay, so it will be plus 1. Okay, we do plus 1 all the time. Whenever we round it off, we do plus 1. Okay, to the point, be it plus 1 or plus 10 or plus 100, depending upon the conversion. Okay, so the nearest, sorry, the 2 decimal places are out here. See, in the answer, it will be 7.97. Okay, now similarly out here in question number B, it is 0.96. So you have to convert it to the nearest 1 decimal place. So ultimately in your answer, it should be 1. Okay, how it is 1? Okay, let us just see. Okay, 1 decimal place. So you have to move to 1 decimal place out here. Okay, so now you can see it is already 0.96. Okay, so you have to move to the 1 decimal place. Okay, so what you will do is that you will have a look at the nearest point. Okay, so this 0.96 is very much near to this 1, isn't it? So you can do it this way also. 0.9 plus 0.1, it will be 1. Okay, so you have to move to the nearest 1 decimal place. Why? Because you will ignore this 6, because you have to move to the nearest 1 decimal place. So for a time being, we will uh, ignore this. Okay, so then what you will do is that you will plus 0.1, because you have to move to the 1 decimal place. So that's why we are writing 0.1, because you have to move to the 1 decimal place. So it is 0.1. Okay, if it was 2 decimal place, then it would be 0.10. Okay, so that's how you have to do your calculation. Okay, now similarly in question number 6, it should be 100th place. So obviously it is 2 decimal places. Okay, so you have to look at the last 2 digits, that is 6, 8. Now that particular 6 and 8, they both are more than 5. Okay, so now in that 6 you do just plus 1, okay, to that 6, only to that particular 6. So it will be how much? It will be 0.57. Okay, now in this particular question, that is question number D, you have to round it off to the nearest thousandth place. So start uh, counting after the decimal. Okay, so for thousand, okay, how many zeros are there in a thousand? There are 3 zeros, right? So count towards the right hand side after the decimal. So 0 point. Okay, now start counting. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So there should be only 3 digits. So there are 3 nines out here. So ignore that particular 4. So it will be 0.999. Okay, so you have to ignore that 4 because that 4 is coming in the 10,000th place. So you will ignore it because you have to round it off to the nearest 1,000th place. Okay, and in a 1,000 there are 3 zeros. Okay, so in decimal, to understand this decimal chapter, you have to understand that 0. Okay, 0 is very, very much important out here. Okay, like like in the case of multiples of 10. Okay, so be it 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So you have to understand that use of 0. Okay, how that 0 is used. Okay, now in question number E, you have to round it off to the nearest 100th place. Okay, so after the decimal, the nearest 100th place, it will be 67.54 only. Why? Because this particular number is less than 5. As I already said that if it is equals to 5 or more than 5, then you will do plus 1. Okay, but if it is less than 5, be it 1, 2, 3 and 4, the number will remain same as it is. Okay, now let us move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is very, very simple. As I already said that you have to understand the multiples of 10 and the use of 0 out here. Okay, so some examples are given out here. Okay, I don't want you to go through that point, okay, right now, because I will teach you a very simple technique. It is very, very simple. Okay, so what is it? In all the questions, okay, in this type of questions, write the fractions for the following recurring decimals. So in this type of question, whatever be the question, you just do this trick. Just 10 minus 1. How much it will be? It will be 9. Okay, 10 minus 1, it will be 9. Okay, so this is a trick. You must understand this. So it will be 10 minus 1, 9. Okay, so what you do, you convert that 0.77, which is a recurring decimal number. So just write the numbers which are after the decimal point as numerator. Okay, in question number A, it is 77. Okay, in question number B, it is 657. The numbers which are after the decimal point. Okay, in question number C, it will be 8. Okay, and in question number D, it will be 9812. Okay, the numbers which are after the decimal point. Okay, and here in question number E, all the numbers 827, but don't write the decimal. Now you may ask me a question, why are we writing only the numbers which are after the decimal? Because towards the left hand side of the decimal point, it is 0. So if we are writing 0 out here, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense out here. Okay, so instead of writing a 0, we will just write the numbers. Okay, so what you do is that you will count the numbers. Now you will count how many numbers are out here. There are 2 numbers, isn't it? There are 2 numbers. Okay, so write 9 2 times, because there are 7 and 7, so there are 2 numbers. So write 9 2 times. Here in question number B, there are 3 numbers. Okay, so write 9 3 times. Okay, and in question number C, there is only 1 number, so write 9 only 1 time. Okay, and in question number D, Here it is like 9812, so there are 4 digits, okay, 4 numbers. So write 9 4 times, okay. And in 827 you will write 2 times. Now why 2 times? Because you have to only count those particular number which are after the decimal point, okay. So you have to write 9 uh, 9, okay, you have to write 9 which is equal to the digits, number of the digits which are after the decimal place. So you have to understand this particular trick, okay. How many times to write 9, okay. So that was your question number 3. This exercise is 3.5 is very simple. You just have to understand some properties, okay. This exercise 3.5 is very simple, okay. Now we will skip this particular section for a time being, because here we have to understand the algebraic equation, okay. So we will solve this particular question number 4, okay, only after we understand the algebraic expressions next week, okay. Now question number 5, it's very simple, okay. You just have to do plus and minus. But how to do plus and minus of a decimal number? Let me just show you out here, okay. This is your question number 5a. So write the numbers 0.561, okay, 5.6, okay, 5.6, okay. Let me just write 5.6 and 1.72, okay. Now what you do is that here you have to understand that these decimal points should be in one single line, okay. It should be in a straight line, okay. It should be in a straight line, because this will guide you, okay, while doing the addition or subtraction, okay. This decimal point, it should be in a single straight line, okay. And after this decimal points, after these, okay, after this decimal place, there are 3 digits. But in this question 5.6, in this number there is only 1 digit, so give 2 zeros out here, so to match everything, okay. And here only 2 digits are there, so give 1 zero extra, okay, because it will be very easy for us to do addition or subtraction, okay. So just do the simple addition out here now. It will be 1, okay. 1 plus 0 plus 0, it will be 1 only, okay. 6 plus 0 6, 6 plus 2 8, okay. So 5 plus 6 11, 11 plus 7, it will be 18, okay, 18. Now this 1 will be carried over out here, so 1 plus 0, it will be 1, okay. 1 plus 5 6, 6 plus 1 7, and this decimal place, it will come in its own place, okay, as it is here in this number. In all these numbers, the decimal point is lying in front of this 3 digits. So here again 1 2 3, so give a decimal point out here, okay, 7.881. So that was your question number 5a, okay. Now let us move on to question number 5b. Now in question number 5b, let me just show you out here in this solution. We have already seen the chapter called integers, and in the integers I had said that you make a group of positive numbers and negative numbers. So what you will do is that this 7.892, it is a positive number, and 4.23, it is also a positive number. But the numbers 5.781 and 5, they are negative numbers. So you make a group of them, okay. You do plus, okay, you do the addition of these two numbers, and again you add these two numbers out here, okay. So let me just show you out here, okay. So that's it, okay. So this is a group of positive numbers, so it is 0.7892, okay. I'm writing 0 out here because here it's in the answer it is coming 12.122, okay. So that's it. It's not necessary to give 0 out here, okay. It's not that necessary. You can just skip this 0 also, okay. Now 7.892 plus 4.230. Okay, so you just do the simple addition and keep the decimal place as it is. Okay, that decimal point, it should be in its own place. Okay, and it should be in a straight line. Okay, so uh, just do the simple addition. 2, 9 plus 3, 12, 1 carried over. Okay, so 10, 11, 1, 12, 1, so 12.122, because the decimal point, it will come in its own place. Okay, now the total of these negative numbers, so let me just, okay, so 5.781 plus 5, here it's only 5. Okay, so what you can do is that you can put a decimal point out here, and after the decimal point you can put 3 zeros, so it will be very easy and convenient for you to do addition. So it will be 1, 8, 7, 5 plus 5, 10, so 10.781. So here you can see we can do all this kind of rough rough work out here. So 12.122 minus 10.781, it will be 1.341. So what we can see it out here in the rough area. So 12.122 minus 10.781. So you do the simple subtraction. We know already, okay, how to subtract. Okay, decimal point, it will not affect. Okay, that decimal point, it will remain as it is. Okay, do not be worried about that decimal point. Just keep it in the straight line. Okay, just keep it straight and do your simple subtraction, and at the end when you get your answer, just put the decimal point as it is. Okay, so this is how you will get 1.341. So similarly you can solve question number C, D and E. Okay, okay, now in question number 6, what is given? Okay, let us just see out here. So Drishti bought 2 kg 350 gram of cabbage and 5 kg 250 gram of tomatoes. Srishti bought 3 kg 250 gram of cauliflower and 4 kg 350 gram of potatoes. Find out whose shopping weighs more and by how much. So here in the hint it is given 1 kg equals to 1000 gram. I hope you know this already. Okay, so the number which is given as the kg, okay, be it 2 kg or 5 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, all these kgs should be towards the left hand side of the decimal point. Okay, and whatever the grams are given, it should be kept towards the right hand side of the decimal point. Okay, this is a very simple trick. Okay, I hope you have learned the conversion in previous classes 5 and 6. Okay, still if you have any kind of confusion and this conversion, please let me know. Okay, if you don't know about the conversion. Okay, but I'm just telling you in short that whatever these kgs are given, okay, 2 kg, 5 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, okay, in the next question, question number 7, 11 kg, 8 kg, okay, so all these kgs should be towards the left hand side of the decimal point, and all the grams, it should be kept in the right hand side of the decimal point. Okay, and here ultimately you will write only one unit, that is kg. Okay, gram will not be used if you do this kind of conversion. Okay, so now you have to add the weight of vegetables that Drishti had purchased, and it is coming 7.600 kg, or you can simply say 7.6 kg, or you can also say 7 kg. You can also write 7 kg 600 gram. Okay, you can write like this also. It is your choice. Now in case of Srishti, you have to do the same thing. You have to add the total quantity of vegetables that Srishti had purchased. So you can see out here that the weights are similar to each other. Okay, so there is no difference of the shopping. Okay, there is no difference in weight of vegetables that was purchased. Okay, now let us move on to question number 7. Question number 7 is very simple. Sarita, she purchased 11 kg 500 gram of flour. Okay, and she used 8 kg 250 gram for making rotis, and the rest, whatever it was remaining, it was used to make halwa. So what you have to do? You have to do a subtraction. But before you do subtraction, you have to convert. Okay, you have to do the conversion. Okay, you have to convert this 11 kg 500 gram to kg only. Okay, so it is very simple. As I already said before, that kg, whatever the kgs are given. Okay, 11. Here in this case, it is 11. So keep 11 towards the left hand side, and whatever the grams are given, keep it in the right hand side of the decimal point. Okay, so minus 8.250 kg. So you will do the subtraction and it will be 3.250 kg, or 3 kg 250 gram of flour. Okay, that was used to make halwa. So this was your question number, sorry, exercise 3.5.